Good morning, everyone. We are out mowing greens. It's been a little while since an update, and I need to update you all on how the golf course is doing. So, enjoy this next little bit of me mowing some greens. Alright, so I fertilized Fairways last night till about 10:30, and this is what I put down. A 2108 formula here, and 0.2% of merit because I've got bad grubs. So again, you can see here basically what I put down. And we're taking a look at the back. Award turf fertilizer here. And there we go. With a little bit of merit because I've got bad grubs, and we'll take a look at that right now. Alright, so this fairway in particular, I had some really bad grub issues along with my number 2 fairway over there. And then now this is the number 3 fairway where I did have, and still do, have just awful grub issues. So I decided to put down fertilizer early this year, and I used all of it. And you can actually see here where something was digging overnight to get some grubs. And again, here, that's a little mole, but you get the idea. Grubs, they're going after grubs. And you could even see in the rough where my root structure is so bad that because of these grubs that it's not able to hold moisture. And even moving back here a little bit, you can kind of tell the coloring of the grass is that, you know, there's no root structure to hold any moisture in the ground. So it all essentially either soaks in too fast or it just evaporates. And this is a prime example of that. So I put down some of that 2108 fertilizer with the merit in there in hopes that the rain last night, right after I put this down, would allow this product to soak in a little bit. And we're supposed to get more rain as it looks really cloudy that way to the south. So we're supposed to get more rain, so that really should help this product soak into the ground, make those grubs come up and up. And then I've got plenty of crows around here from the swamp and from the north that would love to eat these grubs, and robins as well. So that really should, especially after if we get this rain we're supposed to get, 1 to 2 inches of soaking rain, that should push the grubs up and essentially allow the roots to grow again. I mean, the grubs are just eating the roots, and there was a point last year where I could just pick any of this. I've got a little bit of root structure here, thank God, but there was times where I would pull something like this out and it would be a whole circle. I mean, my root structure was a disastrous part of this golf course. I mean, you can see it right here, how much I could pull up if I keep pulling. It's a whole circle about the size of my hand, just because the root structure is so bad from these damn grubs. So essentially I need to get this fixed because this A, dries out way too fast now, and B, creates a big dust spot, sand spot, whatever for runoff too, because everything kind of flows out of the pond and down there for runoff. And see, it just looks awful. But now I've got some decent grass growth here coming, and the root structure is slowly coming back. But this fertilizer really should do twofold here in the fact that, yes, the grubs are finally going to leave, and you can even see here where we've got issues already with birds picking up the grubs, which is just awful. Well, there's a good example of how thick my root structure is. Not great. Not great at all. So you can see here that the birds are just picking this out. And I mean, oh my gosh, it's awful how these birds are ripping apart the root structure, these crows, and it's getting out of hand again. So I think I put this Merit down with the fert at the right time. It is May 21st, so I did it on the 20th, late last night before the rain hit. So I think I did the right thing here. These fairways are coming back nicely, and this fertilizer should only help that much more. You can see even up on the hill there where essentially that's a high point and all the water just runs off. It doesn't soak in just because of those grubs in the root structure. So I'm really happy that I was able to put some of this down. The fairways are growing like crazy right now. It's the perfect storm of weather, fertilizer, and Merit to hopefully get some of these areas back and at least fix this problem for this summer. Now next year or this fall, we're going to have to do preventative measures as well, but at least for the time being here, we can get this problem fixed and hopefully not have to deal with this issue anymore. I mean, you could even see right there's a grub. There's a grub. So just somebody's divot pulled up 2 freaking grubs. That's awful. Just terrible. And you could see that they're just right beneath the root line. So really, all these grubs, once it warms up again and once they start being active, you know, when they're moving around, the birds can notice that. And they wiggle through the earth. And the crows, they know that. They're sitting up in the trees just watching or hearing. I mean, they know exactly where to target these little grubs at. So areas like this here, it's going to be great having these areas come back so it's not so crappy when I mow. I mean, you could see right here, look at this. This is a very wet, this is one of the wettest areas on the golf course, right where the mower is, all the way to here essentially. And because of the pond and the low-lying areas. And you could see I have no root structure even in my roughs. So everything is just either running off or not growing because of the grubs in the ground. And that's really a shame because this is a good part of the fairway here and I should never have any issues with dry this, but I do. And I'm finding that, there's another little grub area, I'm finding that I need to put the water on this fairway so much because the water just runs off or it just soaks right in without, you know, allowing the roots to get any of that water. And because the root structure is so thin, you know, you basically have that much before the roots can't get any water anymore. And usually this much of the turf dries out so fast, whereas if you have that much, you're able to kind of get that water because the sun isn't drying out that top layer of turf as much. So yeah, it's just not ideal. Not ideal at all. This is just awful. So we put down that fertilizer last night. Again, we're supposed to get some rain today. I am mowing greens. I didn't necessarily have to do that, but I know I haven't done a cleanup round in a few days, and I know that was getting long. So I wanted to get that done before it rains here so I don't have to do a cleanup round tomorrow and damage the sides of the greens because of how wet the greens are going to get today and how soft they're going to get. So I figured I would just go out, do a cleanup round today, call it good, and move on to tomorrow. So that's about all I've got on my agenda today. I'm really happy I got that fert with the Merit down, 2108, and it's just starting to rain now. So what we're going to do is finish up on these greens and see you on the next episode. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you in the next one.